is Jonny. I'm a fourth-year student at the University of Waterloo studying in the Science and Business program. Welcome to this week's episode of 16 Weeks of Internships, where I'll show you what it's like to be an intern at a venture fund called Esplanade, working remotely from home in Vancouver, British Columbia this summer. Come on in.
So, tell us how you like to get your day started.
Well, working remotely is interesting.
So, tell us how you like to get your day started.
Well, that's a great question. Working remotely is interesting because my workspace is right in my bedroom, which is right next to my bed. So I like to get started by putting myself in the mentality of the day of hard work. So I get changed, I put myself in proper work clothes as if I was actually going to the office. Okay, so welcome to my office, aka also my bedroom. So my mornings are not as exciting as some other people's. As you can see, my bed is right here. So when I sleep, the alarm goes off, I wake up, and my desk is right here, and I'm ready to begin the day. What I usually do is we have daily stand-up meetings at Esplanade, the company that I'm interning at this summer. That usually starts around, I think it's 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. But as you can tell from the rain, I'm actually based in Vancouver right now. So there's a 3-hour time difference, which means I start the first meeting every day at 7:30 a.m. So what I do is my alarm usually goes off at 6:45 a.m., 7 a.m. I quickly spend 10 minutes going to the bathroom, which I can show you guys here. So I wake up, I come to the bathroom, which is a little messy right now. So we'll just get a quick glimpse really quickly. Okay, I just wash my face, rinse my mouth, and I come back and sit here. And here's what I do. I plug in my computer, and this is pretty useful because as soon as I plug this in, I have both my monitors up and running. So usually how I like to start my mornings is I basically come here and I spend 10-15 minutes before the first meeting checking my emails, preparing what I'm going to do for the day, because in the daily stand-ups we talk about what it is that we're all going to achieve today. And that is pretty much my mornings.
So, give us a quick overview on your company and your internship role.
Yeah, that's a great question. So this summer I'm working at a company called Esplanade Ventures. We're a venture capital firm, meaning that we invest in startups. Our investment thesis is we invest in C to Series B startups focused specifically on digital health with a patient-centric approach. So that's our strict investment thesis. In terms of my day-to-day responsibilities, I'm an intern analyst. And so the fund at Esplanade is quite small. I work pretty closely with the partner as well as the associate on the team almost every day. And the entire team is less than probably 8 to 10 people. I'm the only intern this summer. And so a lot of my responsibilities revolves around pipeline management. So we get a lot of companies that come in every week that send us their pitch decks that they want us to invest. And so my job, a big part of it, is screening through those initial companies, seeing which one of those companies fits our investment criteria of being a C to Series B digital health patient-centric focused company. And then we have weekly pipeline meetings where I'll present kind of this week's opportunities. That's a pretty big staple piece of my work. There's also some additional stuff that goes on if a company makes it further down the investment process, which we call due diligence. There's more work that needs to be done in terms of preparing the memo, preparing the model, having more calls with various customers, with other founders. And so that stuff kind of circles around the daily activities of pipeline management. We're actually in the process of closing our first fund, which has already closed, and about to raise and open our second fund. And during my 4 months here at Esplanade, I actually had the chance to see or work on a deal with the team from a company that was initially sourced, and then seeing that progress all the way from an initial meeting to finally us deciding to invest in the company, which is an awesome experience. So that's an overview. We work a lot with founders. We work a lot with digital health companies. And it's awesome being, on the forefront of technology, innovation, and startups almost every single day.
So what do you like to do in your free time?
I like to do a lot of stuff, but something that's pretty staple in my life is being able to exercise. So almost every day I come in here and I just rep out, like one pull-up. And then this usually takes me pretty long time. And so I spent some time exercising. There's actually a gym that is near my house that's it's 24 hours. They give you a fob, you just tap it in. It's super awesome. It's ridiculously overpriced, but it's it was good during COVID and whatnot because not a lot of people are going in there. So I work out. I like to at least work out maybe 5 or 6 times every week. If I'm not working out, I'm playing basketball with a lot of my buddies. So during the pandemic, we couldn't really book indoor courts. There was an open gym, so we were just always going outside and playing. But recently, we were able to book indoor courts. So I'll usually go with a couple of my buddies. I would just play ball all together.
What program are you in, and what school do you go to?
So I study in the Science and Business program at the University of Waterloo. Science and Business program is not exactly a double degree. I'm specializing in biochemistry and will be graduating with a Bachelor of Science.
Why did you decide to intern at Esplanade?
I really like startups and venture capital. I think for a lot of reasons that I mentioned earlier, the opportunity to work at a venture fund that was specifically focused on digital health and healthcare, health tech, which are industries that I'm extremely interested in, coming from more of a science background. It was also awesome to get the chance to work with such a small team, to learn a lot from the amazing coworkers that I worked with this entire summer, and also just the nature of venture capital, where you're always learning about different startups, different industries, different trends, different technologies. It's a very great experience for me, where I'm continuously learning all summer.
How did you find your internship?
So Waterloo has a pretty extensive co-op program where everybody, depending on if you enrolled in a co-op program or not, you have to complete a certain number of co-ops in order to graduate. So my co-op program required me to complete 5 co-ops before I graduated. And so it was almost like every other semester it'd be school, work, school, work. And so Waterloo has an internal job board where they actually post a lot of jobs. And so I just applied through there. But I would say for the industry of venture capital as a whole, especially in Canada, it's pretty rare where venture funds will post job postings on LinkedIn or other job boards and whatnot. Usually it's through networking, and you're just there and you're the right person at the right place at the right time.
What skills and past experiences helped you get the internship?
Yeah, so in terms of experiences, for the past 2.5 years, I've been a part of an organization called Venture Ventures. We are a student-run venture fund that invests only into student entrepreneurs. So a lot of the stuff that we do at FRV, Venture Ventures, is very similar towards the stuff that you would do at a standard venture fund. So we're deal sourcing, we're finding startups, we're meeting with founders, we're talking to them, we're conducting due diligence on these potential opportunities, and then if it's a company that makes it past our investment process, we bring them to the investment committee and essentially pitch in front of the team, get people's convictions, and then vote on a deal, either yes or no. So a lot of those experiences definitely helped with me landing the internship at Esplanade. Having venture experience as an undergrad was super awesome and definitely very helpful for me because venture capital is an industry that I want to be in, and so Venture Ventures has been great learning opportunity for me in that sense. They also connected us with a lot of VC mentors. So we had a lot of actual venture capitalists that were working in the industry in Canada being paired and matched with us, in our mentorship program one-on-one, where we could ask them questions, get their advice on how they think about certain deals and whatnot. And so that was all extremely conducive, to me being able to land a job at Esplanade. I think in terms of specific skills, there's a lot of stuff out there online, but I think number one, as an analyst, I think being organized is extremely useful and helpful because, a lot of other people in the fund are extremely busy with other kind of day-to-day activities. You want to be there to help keep everybody organized with, pipeline management, deal tracking and whatnot. When you're conducting due diligence, it's also extremely important to be, extremely open-minded and just be always curious and open to learning new things all the time, because in the venture industry, that is what's going to happen. Also, at the end of the day, venture capital is a very people's and relationship-oriented business. So, you should be someone who's able to, have conversations with founders, ask them questions, probe them, especially at the earlier stage when you're investing kind of pre-seed, seed stage. Those times, those companies are not going to have a lot of financials or stuff for you to look at. So you're really betting on the team and the founders, and if they're the right ones to bring this company, into success. So those are just some skills and experiences. It's very different for a lot of other people, but a lot of standard consulting mental models and frameworks for how you should think about things definitely help with venture as well.
What is the most valuable lesson you've learned from your internship?
I think for this internship in particular, because I was part of a small team and I was the only intern, I definitely learned a lot of stuff to do with venture specifically, which I won't get into in terms of financial modeling, how to think about certain deals, analyzing various markets and whatnot. Those are all great specific knowledge that I've gained through that experience, which I'll probably write a blog about sometime next week. So I'll definitely leave a link to that in the description below. I think one of the most valuable things was learning how to try to better manage my time and prioritize, because I was the only intern on a very small team. A lot of the times we had multiple things going on, things that would come in last minute, and that would require us to reprioritize things and just be able to manage expectations with my manager as well as the associate that I was working with on the team. It wasn't always perfect, and some deadlines have been missed, but I think learning about how to actually prioritize things, organizing my work, understanding how long certain tasks are going to take me, and then communicating that effectively with my manager, I think those are transferable skills that will benefit me and was extremely valuable for me to learn moving forward in whatever industry that I get into, hopefully venture capital.
What is your future career goal, and how has your internship contributed to helping you achieve it?
Yeah, so my long-term goal would be to start my own company in ideally either the health tech space, clean tech, sustainable energy, or in education. And I think working in venture is a really interesting bridge before I actually decide to start a company or maybe be an early employee at a cool startup. Because, for example, at Esplanade, we do digital health, and it exposed me to a variety of trends happening in various subsectors within digital health. And so I think working in venture for a couple of years to start will give you, an awesome environment where you're constantly learning about new things. And then slowly but surely you can narrow down your way into a specific trend or a specific subsector that is particularly hot, and then exit from venture, launch a startup, or even join a startup that you were thinking about investing in while you're at the venture fund. So I think venture capital is a great bridge towards, eventually launching my own startup. There's also a really good piece of networking involved with that, where, working in venture, you get a chance to meet a lot of other analysts at other funds, a lot of other cool founders, so that when you do launch a company in the future, you have a solid network that can support you with that. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what other types of content that you'll like to see. Be sure to also follow the 16 weeks of internship social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We'll have links all down in the description below. Thank you guys for watching.